Okay, away from the gaming world right now, and I do want to review Thunderbolts, the latest Marvel Studios movie that came out just recently. The first, no, actually, second MCU in 2025 after like 2, 3 months ago, Captain America Brave New World. So, amazing cast in this one. Wyatt Russell, Florence Pugh, Julia Dreyfus Louise, Hannah John-Kamen, David Harbour. Just trying to remember a few cast members I don't want to dispel. Lewis Pullman, I think that's his name. He plays a character named Bob, but I'll get into that. Listen, of course, as you'd expect, like, I thought it would be a lot similar to Suicide Squad. I mean, look, obviously Marvel saw the success of the Suicide Squad in 2021 and thought, let's do something similar. They sort of did, but it's not like someone bringing these bad guys together. Do this, or else, if you do this, you get your freedom, or else sort of thing. No, it's more of a situation they found themselves being played by by a person of common interest, and find themselves working together for a common good. But really, like, yes, of course, there is action, but what really surprised me about this movie, it actually does a good job of dealing with themes of anxiety, depression, addiction, loneliness, and mental health. It really does that, especially with really the character. While all these characters have sort of inner demon problems, it does a good job with, especially the who I think is the main star of Yelena, played by Florence Pugh, especially like years later, no longer Natasha around, and has dealt with loneliness and depression and some level of self-pity, and just wished, the David Harbour's character, known as the Red Guardian, like really wished he was there as sort of like this father figure. But even he has dealt with some form of self-pity and loneliness, and how it's really interesting how these characters like relate to each other. So I thought that was really cool. And especially like, and of course, Julia Louis-Dreyfus character, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, she has some sort of like inner demons and tragic past of her own. Yes, she is like an antagonist, but sort of like this, I don't want to call her criminal mastermind, but corrupt mastermind politician sort of person with conducting illegal experiments for the common good, but really would, threatening her to be impeached by Supreme Court sort of situation. So I'm trying not to spoil too much here. I still think it's worth watching because it's really interesting, especially like I thought like how the third act as well. I really liked how they dealt with, I don't know if you want to call him the Sentry, the main villain, the main antagonist, because he's more secondary to me. Like, I thought it's just really cool. Anyway, and yeah, I want to mention, of course, Sebastian Stan coming back as Bucky Barnes. He had a short political career as congressman, finds himself back in action, and teaming up with the other characters, sort of the Thunderbolts. I thought the Thunderbolts asterisk was a smart marketing move for what happens at the end. So yeah, I really like how like this Bob character, he worked at some sort of restaurant, had a meth addiction problems, volunteered at a Malaysia testing center for some sort of enhancement drugs or whatever. And just like he feels lost and confused. He has dealt with a tragic past of his own. And I just really thought like I liked how like even those characters sort of related to each other, and how like even how Yelena tried to, like not come close to him, but really tried to be his friend. And it was clear that this Allegra Valentina was using him for her own good, for her own purposes. So I really liked how in the third act, again, I'll try not to spoil too much, like this dark, ugly void that was spreading. Okay, let me rephrase that. This darkness that he was spreading, they needed to go inside his inner demon. Like they needed to help him fight his own turmoil, his own inner demons, to deal with his own problem of mental health and addiction and depression. And I really liked how that was done in a way. I really liked how, I mean, yes, there was sort of like this, oh my God, New York City is in trouble again, sort of third act moment, like big, bad problem. But it was done in a way where there was like this huge, like, scene stealing fight. It was more like inner turmoil, like, inner working sort of fight. Does that make sense? Like, just fight, like help Bob fight the darkness that is within him and have the support of the Thunderbolts team to help him overcome his depression and his anxiety and fight his own mental health struggles. So I thought that was really cool. And I liked what happened in the end. And of course, I'm not going to spoil by accident any post-credit scene, but this is an excellent movie. Yes, at points it may seem like by the threads, but by the formula MCU film, but the themes of mental health, depression, and addiction, I thought, okay, so it's not a perfect depiction of mental health, but for the characters that they deal with, and especially with Yelena really being the main star, and all the other characters, they did a good job. I liked Wyatt Russell coming back as John Walker again. I thought that was really cool. And it's nice to see Hannah John-Kamen as Ghost, another chance to shine as a different version of this character. And there was also a cameo of another villain. I wish it was a bit longer than what we got, but hey, it is what it is. I won't spoil it. But yeah, I mean, this villain, like, marketed, but not really there for much. So that was really my only disappointment. I would have liked to see this character more, but it was just really more so like a cameo appearance of sort. But yeah, I mean, like, that's really pretty much it. Like, again, if you're an MCU fan, go watch it. I still recommend this movie. This is a recommended movie. I know there are some good films in the cinema. I know that there's also Sinners from Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan available. So yeah, go watch that as well. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, I still say, like, go watch that as well. But with that aside, like, in terms of available movies in the theater, yes, please go see Thunderbolts. Clearly, it's a success right now. I think it's a must-watch MCU film. One of the better Marvel Studios films in quite some time. So yes, Thunderbolts, I recommend.